The United Nations chief has urged China and the United States to repair what he calls a dysfunctional relationship. The warning from Antonio Guterres comes as the United Nations General Assembly begins.
As world leaders begin arriving in New York for the UN General Assembly, a warning of a potential new Cold War. UN Secretary-General Antonio Guterres says problems between the US and China must be addressed before they spill over and affect the rest of the world.
The relationship between China and the United States is today totally dysfunctional. There are inevitably areas where there will be confrontation. It's the case of human rights. It's the case of some geostrategic problems, namely the South China Sea. There are areas where I believe there is convergence of interests and there must be strong cooperation, climate. And there are areas where a serious negotiation is needed, trade and technology.
Throughout the week, UN member states will confront key challenges, including COVID-19 and climate change. On these fronts, Mr. Guterres says there must be more cooperation between Beijing and Washington if any progress is to be made.
Unfortunately, today, we only have confrontation. We need to re-establish a functional relationship between the two powers. I think we need to avoid, at all costs, a Cold War that would be different from the past one, and probably more dangerous and more difficult to manage.
Mr. Guterres pointed to the secretly negotiated defense pact between the US, Britain and Australia, which has angered France and China. He warned it's just a small piece of a more complex puzzle of the frayed relationship between Washington and Beijing. Has called on both sides to repair their relationship soon or risk splitting the world into two.